Let's take a look at how to create, zip, and submit your projects. And you're going to actually submit your whole project folder. So I do not want you to submit just, a finished executable. You can't submit just your SLN file. It doesn't work that way. So I'll want your whole folder. And then what I do is I go and I extract and then open it in Visual Studio and run from there. So anyway, you'll see that. When you look at your assignments this week, there's just two. This one actually has a video from Kip to help you with it if you need it. But let's take a look at setting this stuff up. So when you first go into Visual Studio, I'm going to open that up really quickly. You can see I'm in the new window, or when you first open up my recent here, but I want to create a new project. And so I'm going to click on this, and I know you've seen this in other videos. I've got my recent project template that I use here, so Windows Format, .NET Framework for Visual Basic here. And then we see this window. So I'm going to come in here, and this is the way I want you to set this up. So the first assignment is, and let me go back over here so I can show you. It's Programming Challenge. That's what PC stands for. So Programming Challenge out of the back of the book. Chapter 2, Problem 1. And this particular problem is called the Latin translator. Okay, so that's the program that you're gonna put together. Okay, so that's what I want to have, not the page number, but I want you to have this piece in there. So what you'll do in Visual Studio is you'll just go over here and you're gonna type PC 2-1, and then this one is called the Latin translator. And if you want to abbreviate along the way, I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much to me. So translator, I don't know, just whatever you might put there. So translator, I'm gonna just put the whole thing for now. So we've got that in there. You don't need to put anything else in here. You don't need to put your name or any of that kind of stuff. When you submit anything into Canvas, if I download that file or open that file, it actually adds a tag that has your name on there. So don't include that here. Okay, so just something simple like this, and this will help you be able to find your projects quickly, hopefully, and when you start getting a bunch in your particular folder. Okay, so I use this option down here that says place solution and project in the same directory, and I'm going to ask that you do the same thing, and it simplifies things, and I'll show you an example of that here in a second. If you don't check that box, then it gives you this option to change that, I guess, but I'm going to go ahead and just click this place solution and project in the same directory. And then when you're done with that, it's going to go ahead and I'm going to say create. And you're going to go through and, do whatever you're going to do in here. And when you get your project all built, you're going to, go through and run it, build it, and hit start here. And, it'll do whatever, have a little executable for you to play with. You've tested it, you've gone through all that kind of stuff. You know that it's good. And so I'm going to just minimize this really quickly, and you'll see what it's done. If I go to this folder right here, you'll see now I have this folder is listed in here. Okay, so it says PC 2-1 Latin translator, just like I typed in there. Okay, this is what you'll actually use to submit to me. So I'm going to go back to Visual Studio, and before you zip, you want to make sure you exit out of Visual Studio, close the solution, or exit completely out of Visual Studio, so that's gone. And this particular folder, if I double click that, you'll see it has all this stuff in here, including the SLN file. So we've got that listed in here. And so if we go out, I'm going to go back to another project, and you'll see, like for example, this particular one, I didn't use that option, and this one keeps the SLN file in its own, right here, and then it has another folder that you've got to double click on to open to get all this other stuff. So by using the option, when you check that box and include the SLN file in the actual, project folder itself, it simplifies your directory structure a little bit. So I would prefer it like this. So please use that checkbox option, and then that's what you'll do. So anyway, so let's say my project's all done. I know it works. I've used my executable, hit the start button and all that kind of stuff, and built my little stuff, my little project to test. Everything's good. I'm all done. I've exited out of Visual Studio. This is how you'll submit it. So what you'll do is you'll just click on this, single click, left click on there, or just right click. And as soon as you right click, then you'll see an option that says send to. And you may not have all this junk in here. There's other stuff on my computer, I guess. So I'm going to say send to. And you're going to see this option right here that says compressed or zipped folder. And as soon as you click on that, notice how it created it automatically, and it gives you the option to change the name if you'd like. You don't want to do that, just leave it the same. But notice how this is now a compressed zipped folder. All the stuff is in here, but it is a simple file that a single file that I can use to submit when I go over here. So let me jump back over here into Canvas, and if you are in the page, I'm going to click on Submit Assignment. And when you click Submit Assignment, there are two tabs down here. It leaves Office 365 by default. We're never going to use that. But when you come over here, the File Upload, this is where you're going to say Choose File. Okay, and for Choose File, mine pops up with whatever I used last time. And so I don't want that one. I'm going to click back. It's so bigger, it's kind of annoying. So I've got this option in here. Here it's going to let me go through and make sure you pick the one that is zipped. Okay, so the single compressed zip folder, that's what you want. You click on that one time, and then click Open, or double click, whatever, and you should see that file appear right here. Whatever the name is of that particular project, .zip, that's all you need. Then you can click Submit Assignment, and you'll be all done. It will say, I'm going to go and do that just real quick on this little sample one. So it's submitting it, uploading the file, and here's my little submit. So boom, I submitted it. You know that it's in there. You can resubmit. So if you find an error and you're like, oh no, as long as it's before the due date, you can go back in and resubmit. And when I go through to grade your assignments, it puts the most how does it set it up? I think it sets it up so it shows all of them, but the one that was the most recent is the one that will show up for me to grade automatically. So you don't have to let me know or anything else. It just automatically shows me the most recent file. Anyway, so that's it. That's how you're gonna set those up. And if you have any questions with how to do that, please let me know. But once you've done it a couple times, it's not too big a deal. You'll do it that way every time you want to think about it. So that's it for this. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks and have fun.